G'day guys and girls, my name's Isahooten and today more Terraria Mechanics awaits. Before we start today's episode though, I have a question for you. What do you call the Eye of Cthulhu on the moon? It's a problem. Okay, well, what do you call the Eye of Cthulhu and the Eater of Worlds on the moon? That is also a problem. Okay, so what do you call all the bosses on the moon? A problem solved. Oh my... I am just so funny. Terrible jokes aside, today, guys and girls, we're talking about the big, glowing topic of conspiracy in the sky, the moon. No, not the sun. Psh, the sun. I think the moon is way more important anyway. I mean, we need the light the most at night, so, where were you on that one, son? Yeah, my jokes are just the best. In Terraria, the day and night cycle lasts for 24 minutes, corresponding to 24 hours in-game. Day technically starts at 4:30 AM and the night begins at 7:30 PM, where day lasts for 15 minutes and the night lasts for 9. Quick maths. Boom! When the sun does say goodnight, you'll notice that not all moons are created the same. There are 3 different styles of the moon in Terraria: normal, Mars-like, and one with rings. When a world is generated, one permanent random moon style is assigned to it. More specifically, however, we're talking about moon phases and what they mean to you as a Terrarian. Unfortunately, we still are unable to visit the moon in Terraria. However, with 1.4 just around the corner, it could be a possibility, and I would love to visit one day. Maybe they're planning some sort of location or event there. I mean, that would be out of this world, but I'm afraid there won't be any atmosphere.
What is that actually happened?
Of course it happened. I think this is a reflection of how just
Oh my god.
Bad.
we've become.
Oh my god.
A lot of weird forces at odds with each
Why
other.
am
Oh my god.
The moon in Terraria has 8 different phases, and a new phase will appear each night, starting from a full moon upon world creation. The moon's phases affect a few different factors in Terraria, the most notable being shop inventory of certain NPCs, certain enemy spawn rates, and fishing power as well. But let's go through each of these things in a bit more detail. So starting with my least favourite. Fishing power actually does change depending on the moon phase. Power will range from plus 10% to minus 10% from a full moon to a new moon in 5% intervals, then it will go back up to positive 10% in the next 4 phases to the full moon. So basically, it is best to up your chances to go fishing on the full moon or on either of the gibbuses, or the gibbi. The gibby? Enemy spawns and spawn rates are also affected by moon phase, specifically what type of enemies spawn. For example, werewolves only spawn on full moons, and the new moon features higher spawn rates of demon eyes, wraiths, and fireflies. And this kind of makes sense in a strange way, doesn't it? I mean, the darkest creatures come out in the darkest night, especially fireflies. Oh, they're innocent, I hear you say. Oh, how do you know? You don't even question. What could they be plotting? You don't know. That's why you gotta make sure you always, call the numbers.
You would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies.
This is good to keep in mind for when you specifically need to farm lenses, or you need to farm a moon charm, or just when you need to let out some repressed rage on some innocent digital bugs. Only certain flowers and herbs will bloom under the particular phase of the moon. For example, deathweed only blooms on a full moon, but this is really the only one I could find, so maybe you guys can help me out here. And finally, certain NPCs will only sell certain items or have certain shop inventories on a particular phase. Now, in writing this episode, I thought it was a good idea to make this into a rap. So forgive my white guy rapping, but oh gosh, let's break them down. Paintings that change every 2 phases. That's the painter. Not your thing, then go visit the dye trader. He sells negative and shadow dye, but only when there's a full moon in the sky. Grab the mechanic's rod on a waning crescent. Be warned, the moon won't be very luminescent. If it's an arms race to space that you face, grab the jetpack. But you know what's whack? It's sold between a new and full moon. The rap's almost over, so stay tuned. Now let's resume. The spooky, scary skeleton sells yo-yo stuff. It doesn't change much, but if that wasn't enough, he sells a magic lantern. When the moon is full, the rap is over now, but geez, that was a mouthful. MC Hoot in his house. Young Money Hoot, Hoot, Hoot. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. Oh man. I can't believe I just did that. This is probably a bad idea. I'm gonna put a poll in the top right corner now. Yeah. Tell me if I should ever rap again or not. I have no idea if that was good.
No! God, please, no! No!
One thing that I will mention that I couldn't work into the rap, I just didn't know how. But the skeleton merchant does actually sell another weapon, and this is the slap hand. He only sells it during a blood moon, however, so it's not really a moon phase, but I guess it is a state of the moon, whatever. What's interesting about this weapon is that whilst not having crazy damage, it has the highest knockback of any weapon in the game. A knockback value of 20, which is actually almost double that of the second highest value item. This is a crazy weapon that I highly recommend you try if you can. Its extremely high knockback makes it a good choice for keeping enemies away instead of directly fighting them, and it's just fun to launch enemies all the way across the screen. I mean, if you manage to find a snowflakes and hit that thing, you can send it, I reckon you can send it easily from one end of the map to the other. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. To finish the video off, it is worth noting that each new phase starts at 4:30 AM the following morning. This means that a moon phase encompasses not just the night, but the day preceding that night as well, which is important as most moon phase dependent content and effects are not limited to nighttime. You are able to check the moon phase in-game with the sextant, but this item is a 1 in 40 chance reward for the angler's fishing quests, so I'll leave it up to you whether this is worth it or not. And for all those moon landing conspiracy theorists out there, I'm just going to throw my hat in the ring and say, I totally agree. The moon landing was completely fake. All you need to do is go outside, look out at the night sky at night and realize it's still there, sheeple. Wake up, the moon never landed. Badunks. Yeah, hilarious. All right, that's all from me today, guys and girls. Thanks so much for watching today's episode of Terraria Mechanics. Of course, let me know down in the comments if there is any other mechanics you would like me to go through. I do have a lot of scripts written up for a lot of mechanics already, but I love to hear from you guys all the same, so let me know down in the comment section below. And I'll leave you with one final thought. Do you think that the Earth ever makes fun of the moon for having no life? Because honestly, I think there's more demonstration of things not having a life right here on this spaceship Earth. Kinda like me. This is the end of the video.
I think this